Hey everybody, it's Punchlines!
Welcome back to another episode of Punchlines with Shane McMurdo. I'm Shane McMurdo. We are the official podcast of the company named after the man joining me today, Mr. Carlos Adams. What's up, bro? So there's a full-fledged world title fight for the WBC on November 26th. It is fought between Regis Prograis and the guest we're very honored to have today, Mr. Jose Chon Zepeda. What's up, dude? How are you doing?
How you doing, my man? Thanks for having me.
No, thank you so much for coming on. This is a big fight, not just for you and for Regis, but for the division, because it is for the full green belt, the actual championship, not one of the secondary ones. And I think most boxing fans, if not all boxing fans, would agree with me that there aren't probably two fighters that are more deserving of fighting for a title than you two. Neither one of you have had an easy route. You, especially in 2015, your first attempt at a title, it got stopped because of an injury against Terry Flanagan. And then all the way back in 2019, when you fought Jose Ramirez, a lot of people thought you probably should have won that fight. And then same thing on the flip side, a lot of people thought Regis beat Josh Taylor. So to be here, to have an actual opponent, because if you win this title, or in your mind, when you win this title, nobody can take anything away from you. A lot of people might think he's the best fighter in the division. How excited and just ready are you for this opportunity?
Yeah, I am really excited because we know that boxing fans know that this is not the two top fighters at 140. Even though it's a vacant title, it's the top two, so nobody can say anything. Like, nobody can say, "Oh, you didn't beat a champion." We are the top two dogs in 140. So I'm excited. This is my third time for the world title opportunity. So, bro, we're 100% ready. Like, for me, this is it. I mean, this is my third chance. So that's the way we see it. This is it, and we train for it.
And do those other two fights, because of the way they ended, is it anything that like lingers? Because I'm sure you hear it all the time.
Yeah, I mean, it was, the first one was a freak accident. It's just that's just the way you put it. A freak accident in the second round. The second one was a controversial decision. A lot of people thought I won, and I learned a lot. There's nothing I could say about that. I mean, we only, things happen for a reason, and I'm just really excited for this one. I have nothing bad to say about Regis, and like, this is it, man. The winner of this fight is gonna be the best 140 pounder.
Yeah, I think it's hard to argue that, because a lot of people, like I said, a lot of fans, boxing fans are probably the hardest people on the planet to please. And if not, a lot of them have a bad thing to say about either one of you, which says a lot, because they have bad. It's mean out there, bro. They say mean things about people, but they like you guys, which is good. You're fighting he's not just a good fighter, but he's another southpaw like yourself. Now, do you like that you're fighting another southpaw? Like, is it difficult to train for?
To be honest, it doesn't matter. In my career, I mean, I have 38 fights, so I've been through everything. What I do like is that, like you're saying, everybody in boxing, they know this is the top two. So I like the fact that when I beat them, it's gonna be all right. You're the legit champion, the best at 140 pounds, and that's what I like. It's both of us are knockout artists. I think this is gonna be a fight of the year candidate. I mean, I was talking to my brother not too long ago, and I told him, like, "Hey, have you noticed that there hasn't been an exciting fight this year?" I mean, not that I remember. So I think this could be the fight of the year.
I do want to add something. So a lot of people don't know this. Chon only had 16 amateur fights. 16 amateur fights. And to go this far, that's almost unheard of in today's boxing, because most of the boxing guys that are coming up, they have like 50, 100, 200 amateur fights getting signed. And Chon came from the bottom, having to prove himself every step of the way, and he has. And I think that's very impressive, something that we don't see anymore.
Yeah, your resume in the fights in between these title bids is more impressive than a lot of like current belt holders' resumes. I mean,
No easy fights.
yeah, you went through hell and back just in 5 rounds with Ivan Baranchik. There was like 9 knockdowns in that fight. I thought it was over like 3 times.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, tell me about it, bro. It was fight of the year. And I'm glad the fights I had to go through fights like that, because it gives you so much experience. It shows you how much you're able to take. It shows you how strong you are. And that's I'm really confident in not in any other fight I was able to say I'm confident. I think this fight I could tell you I'm confident with everything that I've been through. I really think this is it, man. This is gonna be my time. I am 33 and I am in my prime because of so many experiences inside the ring. I mean, I've been through everything.
What about the things that you've had to put up with outside of the ring? Because when you fought Josue Vargas, that dude, he talked a lot of shit, more than a lot of other opponents do, all the way up until the final weigh-in when he stepped in front of you with, you had the Mexican flag, you had the Puerto Rican flag, and he deliberately stepped in front of you, and he yanked the flag down, didn't he?
Yeah. I mean, that guy and his team, it was a headache since day one when I got there the week of the fight. In the press conference, a lot of people don't know, but it started in the press conference. They told him to sit on the blue corner, and he said no. He said he's gonna sit over there. So it was a mess, bro. And there was a lot of them, a lot of them, and his team. I mean, we were fighting in New York, so that's his hometown. And then at the end, well, he only lasted 1 round, right? But
No, he lasted
a lot.
half a round.
It was
Right.
a lot, but it's experience. Everything is experience. Everything you learn a lot from all of that, and everything goes the way it went, and that's it.
I have a question about that fight, Chon. Leading up to the fight, did you feel pressure because you were in his hometown? Everyone was pro Puerto Rican crowd. Like, how did you feel walking into that?
I wasn't pressure. I wasn't too much pressure because I've been through it. In my first title fight, remember, it was in London.
Yeah, UK.
So I've been through that, and all of that gives you a lot of experience. So I wasn't too worried about that. At the end of the day, I know that it's only him against me inside that ring, and I kind of knew that. I don't want to say it like that, but I kind of knew it was gonna go my way all the fight, and I finished him in the first round, but I kind of knew it was gonna go that way.
Yeah, because you called the pressure would get to him before the fight, and it got to him quick. I mean, you caught him when he threw like a wide right hook, and that's when you caught him with the first knockdown, I think.
Yeah. It was just like a 1-2. It was really quick, and he got caught. He tried to counter, and he got caught in the middle.
Yeah, what I found interesting about that fight is how did he land that fight with you? Like, if you look at the ranking system, he wasn't even near you, but he still got that fight.
It was first of all, after my Baranchik fight, I believe, or no, after my Haney fight, no, not Haney. What's his name? Lundy.
Oh, Lundy.
After I fight Lundy, he messaged me and he called me out in one of his fights when he won. He said he wanted me next because I have the WBC silver title. And he even messaged me on Instagram, bro. It was like, hey, I want to fight you, top rank or whatever. I like, I'm supposed to go for the world title, so I don't know. And they had him. I think Top Rank was they had him in as a big star coming up. So I guess he asked for me. He probably asked for me in top rank. He told me I want Jose. So they gave him the opportunity. He said, like, all right, because they did treat him like he was a coming up star. And that was it. After
See,
that fight, that was it.
no, that's a good point. And the reason for that was because of his amateur background, and you didn't have one. So
I
it's
even
like,
heard he beat Shakur Stevenson in amateurs.
yeah, he was an amateur standout, and that's what I'm saying. Most of the guys are like the next star. They all have these deep amateur career resumes, and you only had 16 fights, right? I have 40, bro. I have 40, so it's like,
I mean,
that's
you even
crazy.
have more than yeah. I wanted to be a professional soccer player, bro. When I was in boxing, I wouldn't go train. I actually wasn't gonna be a professional boxer. I was already working as a coach, and all of a sudden, my uncle from Mexicali, he just called me out of nowhere and like, hey, why don't you just do your pro debut? I mean, you already trained a lot, you already did 16 amateur fights. And I said, all right, I'll get to work. And that's how it started, bro. I knocked him out in the first round, and that's how I started. I wasn't even gonna be professional.
Well, I seen you fight. So Shane, I met Chon back in maybe the beginning of 2016 or the end of 2015, I think.
Okay.
It's when Chon fought in Tijuana. And I met him. I gave him some shoes when I was first starting out, gave him some shoes for the fight. And I remember they were a little bit too big.
The best shoes to this day, huh? To this day, the best ones.
Well, anyway, they were too big. And I'm there ringside because he gave me tickets. And he's fighting this guy. It's like a clash of heads, was it?
Yes. Uh-huh.
And they stopped the fight, no contest. But Chon, from like the rounds I saw him, when he hit, you could hear the punch. Like his hands were so heavy. And I think you have like a natural ability with your punches. Like you punch through people. And I feel that's the difference between all these amateur standouts who are used to like speed combinations. You just come in and it's like heavy. And I think that's a reason why you've been able to beat all these guys who have deep amateur resumes, and you've been able to overcome. And even the world title fighters, the rounds you've been in there, in my opinion, on all the rounds you've done in the world title fights, you've been either dead even or you have the edge every time. And I think that's amazing for a guy with 16 amateur fights, a late start, and you're up there with guys who have been fighting since they were 5, 6 years old.
Yes.
That's crazy. Like what do you believe you have something special, or what is it?
Where I believe the most, it was the fight against Ramirez. He's an Olympian. I don't know how many fights he has. He probably has a lot more than 100. But he's an Olympian, so he went to the Olympics. And what I did to him in the first 6-7 rounds, he couldn't even touch me, bro. So
that was insane. You outboxed him.
True that I got tired, but for the first 6 or 7 rounds, he didn't touch me maybe once or twice, man. And when I noticed that after the fight, I was like, you know what? I could do this. That's when I first believed, hey, you know what? I could be a world champion. I mean, I did this to a guy that's an Olympian. He's a 2-time world champion, 2 different, the WBC, the WBO. So I was like, you know what? I could really do this. I could go against the top dogs. So since then, all the experience that I have got, it's crazy, bro.
The number 1 ranked 140-pound fighter, Jose Zepeda.
Here comes Zepeda, pouring it on.
Meets number 2 ranked Regis Prograis.
Nice.
Okay, here we go.
In what promises to be the fight of the year.
Knockout from Jose Zepeda.
For the prestigious WBC Super Lightweight Championship of the World. Who's ready for a battle? Saturday, November 26th.
Streaming live on ppv.com. Order now.
That's another guy you fought in his backyard as well. And it's interesting that fight too. So you not only fought him in his backyard, but at the time you were a relatively unknown fighter. You weren't the Jose Zepeda that's here today. So all the pressure was, it was kind of like a showcase fight for Ramirez. A lot of people would say they were, they thought you would put up a good fight, but it would still go his way. It's how it ended up going in the grand scheme of things. But that, in a lot of ways, that was your coming out party, because then after that, you've got the fight with Pedraza. You got these other fights that we mentioned. But it's like every time, a lot of people thought you won that fight, but, that they were influenced by the crowd, I guess, to say that the judges were, that the decision was going to go Jose's way anyway. But now what you've gone through since then, everyone you beat since then, everybody knows who you are. So it's not even, is it nice knowing that the threat of just being this unknown guy, not getting the judge's decision, is just that looming presence isn't there anymore? Is it a relief going into this fight?
I'm not sure. I mean, it's been the same for a lot of fights. I don't know why they still have me like as an underdog. I was an underdog against Ramirez. I was an underdog against Pedraza because I was right after. I was an underdog against Ivan Baranchyk. So I was an underdog against Josue Vargas. For some reason, people still have me as the underdog. I believe I'm the underdog in this fight, but I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. I'm gonna make the non-believers believe this time for sure.
Yeah, and I think it's going to be not only an exciting fight because you guys both hit hard, and you hit well. You're both accurate and very technical at what you do, but you guys also can box. Is it like you think well while you're inside of there, which again is incredible considering you only had the 16 amateur fights, but where you've, like I've said before, where you lack the amateur experience, you lack professional experience that not a lot of people have. I mean, we've mentioned 3 or 4 former world champions that you fought already in just a short amount of time. So going into this fight, you were originally actually supposed to get the rematch with Ramirez, which I'm sure is a fight you wanted for a long time. When that got canceled, was your immediate thought just who's next?
Yeah, it was always that, because the first fighter that I was supposed to go against, it was Josh Taylor. He got married, or they told me. Well, the thing is that Josh Taylor wanted me to wait till next year to fight him, and we asked why. He's getting married in October or something like that. So they were asking me to wait for him till next year. I said no. I said I don't want to wait. I want to fight already. I mean, I've been deserving the shot for a year already. And the next in line was Jose Ramirez. So he did the same thing. He wanted me to fight him next year because of the same reason. He was getting also married.
Oh, wow.
So they did give me that. They told me, oh, we could give you a tune-up fight and then fight next year for the world title. I was like, no, I don't want. I've been doing tune-up fights. I've been doing fights in between. I deserve the shot already, so I don't want to wait for him. And the WBC couldn't do anything, so they said, all right, let's go to the next one online, and it was program.
Of course it was. Yeah, if the top 2 guys said no, I mean, might as well give it to the third top guy. I mean, they didn't even try to give you an easy fight. But yeah,
right.
Ladies, you heard it here. If you want your husband to propose to you, just have him sign a fight with Jose Zepeda. That's all you gotta
do. For real.
Those two, they're probably like, well, are you ever gonna engage? You're like, I'll think about it. All right, fuck it, I'll do it. So where are you training out of?
I'm training out of Baldwin Park.
California?
California, yes, sir.
And is that where you've always trained?
Yeah, that's where I started since I was 10 years old.
So who's is it just, are you the big fighter in there, or is there a bunch of pro guys in the stable?
No, to be honest, it's just me. It's just me, the professional fighter, and there's a lot of kids out there with talent in Baldwin Park, and but nothing big. So I'm, actually I like to be there around them and try to push them to become big stars.
Okay. And this pay-per-view, it's on Fight TV, thefight.com, ppv.com. So why is the fight showing up on this network? How did you get into promotional talks with this network?
Well, it was actually a purse bid. I don't know if you're familiar with that. So purse bid, it becomes when you cannot agree on a number with your promotion, with your promoter, and with the opposite promoter, then it becomes a purse bid in which all the promoters in the world, they could jump in there and just bid an amount and get the fight. So that's how it went to Marv Nation. He was the one that betted the most, and that's how he got the fight. They got the fight. So they're putting a good card, actually. All the Vargas brothers, and there's this girl that she's a champion, a world title. So it's coming along. It's like a new promotion, but it's coming strong.
Yeah, actually, in that event, Amado Vargas and Fernando Vargas Jr. will also be wearing the Adams boots. So I think it's gonna be cool. I'll be there too. I'll be there for support.
Nice. Hey, I got you. I'm talking about that. I got you a ticket. All right.
Oh, thank you, man. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And you know what? I don't usually go to fights. I actually been invited to a lot of fights. I never go, but I feel this one's special because I remember I went all the way to Tijuana to see you in Tijuana, right? At like kind of like a cockfight stadium, you know what I mean? Where you have cockfights. So like
Yeah.
I've seen you when you were still progressing through the career, and I just want to be there for when you step in the big lights. You know, that's crazy.
Yeah. That's gonna be a day to remember, dude.
For sure.
Does it feel like a world title fight, like with all of the extra that comes with it, with the press attention and the fact that it's a pay-per-view, or does it feel like just another fight at this point?
No, if it's way different. This is it, bro. This is what we dream of since you're little, just getting that title. This is what we work for, I guess. I mean, I've been doing this professionally for 10 years, and this is it. This is why we're here. This is what we work for, and this is different.
It's like that.
This fight is special.
It's that moment that every kid thinks of when, or even grown adult thinks of when they're shadow boxing. Like,
Yeah.
it's a big fight. You're the underdog. Everyone's watching. And it's a good fight. That's the beauty of boxing, is when that's what like drew me to the sport, is that first big fight I saw. It's a fighter trained to beat the hell out of somebody against another person trained to do the same exact thing. And both of you guys, you got to bring like just calmness to one of the most chaotic events someone could like put themselves into. This is what boxing is. And this is a big fight. It's one of the biggest fights of the year. It's arguably bigger than the last fight that happened in the division between Taylor and Catterall, because I feel like it's a much closer matchup between two overall better fighters.
I believe so. Exactly.
Yeah.
Right.
So I'm very excited to watch it, because like I said, I couldn't think of, you can't name two better fighters in the division overall, and you can't name two better people more deserving of it, because I think you guys have both had a hard road and had to prove yourselves and deal with unfavorable crowds or judges or whatever. So I'm definitely excited to see it, because I don't think there's a way it's a bad, like you said, I don't think there's a way it's not a good fight. I'm
excited as well, bro. We're really excited. We can't wait. It's gonna be a big fight. It's gonna be an entertaining fight.
And if you had to predict how you would win, how do you think you would win?
It's dynamite in there, so it could be either way. What I do have in mind is just I know what my heart can take, my body can take on the fight of the year, on the fight against Baron Chick. So no matter what, I'm winning, however it is, but I'm winning the fight. That's how I see it.
Oh, yeah.
Doesn't matter how.
Oh yeah. And then I know nobody likes to think about what comes after the next fight, because the next fight takes precedence, but do you have plans of staying at 140 after this, or do you?
Definitely. I'm staying at 140, and there's big things coming at 140. All the guys at 135, they're coming to 140, and some of them are already here, some of them are already at 140, and there's big opportunities, big fights at 140. So yeah, definitely I'm staying.
Hell yeah.
like I said, for me, this is actually a pretty big moment because, like I said, I've met Chon. I think back it was 2015, and just to see how far he's grown. I mean, even on social media, his presence has grown. He's become a fan favorite fighter. He's known like all the Mexican American fighters. I mean, all the Mexican American fans know him now, and he's just like he said, he's always been the underdog. Every fight he's the underdog, and every fight he proves himself. Every fight. So I believe that Chon is gonna take this fight, and I believe that he's gonna become a staple at 140 for a long time.
Yeah, if he isn't already, you know, like I mean, this is your third title and your third title scheduling this year. Do you have any sponsors or anybody you want to send shout outs to before we get you out of here, bro?
Well, yeah, I have my sponsor, SGM, San Gabriel Market in Baldwin Park, bro. Like a family. They good people, and shout out to SGM.
Hell yeah. And then the link for the fight, is that if they want to order it or buy tickets, is that in your bio at all?
Yeah, it is in my bio and on Instagram.
All right. And on Instagram, he is Jose Chon Zepeda all together. All right, guys, he's fighting on November 26th. Click the link in his bio if you want to get tickets, or if you want to watch it. It'll also be on ppv.com. He's fighting another top junior welterweight, excuse me, for the WBC belt. That's the green one. For those who don't know, you guys are learning. But watch him, watch Regis fight for it. He's not lying. We're not lying. This is going to be a fight of the year candidate, if not the fight of the year. And I'm excited to watch it. I'm honored to have you on here for it. This is the first person I've actually got to interview before they fight for a world title. So you have no idea how exciting this is for me. And
Thanks, brother.
I've been watching you for a while too. I mean, a lot of people know my story, but when I was in the Navy, when I lived out in New Jersey, I actually had more friends that watched boxing there because it's a boxing area. And one of the guys I worked with, he watched it also. And when we watched the Ramirez fight, as soon as it was over, he texted me. He's like, Ramirez didn't win that fight. And I was like, I don't think he did either. And that's like, I'd already known of you from the Terry Flanagan fight. But I mean, if you watch the fight, you only got 2 rounds of seeing you. And it was a young version of you. So you didn't get to see a lot. But I remembered who you were. But then I watched that fight. I'm like, dude, I think he won this fight, bro. And you know, they were building Ramirez up, and that's no disrespect to Ramirez. I think he's a great fighter, but I don't think he won that night. And then you fought Pedraza, who I was familiar with, and you beat Pedraza. I'm like, oh, this dude might actually be pretty good. And then here we are, you fight for a world title in 10 days. So
yes, sir.
I'm fucking stoked for it, man. This is gonna be, I can't wait to watch it.
Yeah,
me
thanks,
too.
brother.
Well, thanks, Jose. Thanks for your time, man. Thanks a lot, and I'll see you soon.
Thank you, guys. No, thank you, and thanks. I'm sorry for for taking a little long, but thanks, man. Thanks for having me, and yeah, hopefully we see each other right there in 10 days.
I hope so, guys.
Well, have a great night.
Guys,
All right,
make sure you
guys.
give him a follow on Instagram. Wish him luck. Watch him fight. This has been Punchlines with Jose Zepeda. I'm Shane McMurdo, and I'm joined with Carlos Adams. We're out.
Oh, nice jab from Martinez, and there's a left hook that puts Martinez to sleep. The dynasty continues as Emiliano Vargas proves why he is El General, the general. Do you need to ask? Because look at, he turned the left hook over, people. Look at him, how he turned this left hook. Oh my goodness, on the chin. Oh. Look it, downstairs, okay. Swings a shot, boom. Right on the money. Turns it over perfectly. You want to know why he went down like that? Because he turned that shot over. He didn't slap with it.